Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. Well, it is Monday, and Monday is my poem day. Poets say it really good, and I like to honor them. I'm a huge fan of Jalaluddin Rumi, and I love the translations by Coleman Barks if you're looking for a person who really gets where Rumi's coming from. And this one is called Chinese Art and Greek Art. The prophet said, "There are some who see me by the same light in which I am seeing them. Our natures are one." Here's a story about that hidden mystery. The Chinese and the Greeks were arguing as to who were the better artists. The king said, "We'll settle this matter with a debate." The Chinese began talking, but the Greeks wouldn't say anything. They left. The Chinese suggested that they then be given each a room to work on their artistry, 2 rooms facing each other and divided by a curtain. The Chinese asked the king for 100 colors, all the variations, and each morning they came to where the dyes were kept and they took them all. The Greeks took no colors. They're not part of our work. They went to their room and began cleaning and polishing the walls. All day, every day, they made those walls as pure and clear as the open sky. There is a way that leads from all colors to colorlessness. Know that the magnificent variety of the clouds and the weather comes from the total simplicity of the sun and moon. The Chinese finished and they were so happy, they beat the drums of joy in completion. The king entered their room astonished by the gorgeous color and detail. The Greeks then pulled the curtain dividing the rooms. The Chinese figures and images shimmeringly reflected on the clear Greek walls. They lived there even more beautifully and always changing in the light. The Greek art is the Sufi way. They don't study books of philosophical thought. They make their loving clearer and clearer. No wantings, no anger. In that purity they receive and reflect the images of every moment, from here, from the stars, from the void. They take them in as though they were seeing with the lighted clarity that sees them. Okay, our little Dharma riff for today. For my disappointing affirmation friends, yes, we're still doing the disappointing affirmations until I finish them, and then, you'll be out of my face with my toxic positivity here. So just remember, who you are is not who you will be in 5 years. Here's hoping you're not even worse. For my journal friends, when you lose perspective on the big picture and what really matters, how do you get it back? How do you get back to being clear? Been thrown off the horse? Get back on? Let me know what your way is, I'll share mine. Now, Ram Dass used to share with us that silence is not where you're waiting for something next to happen, not waiting for the next thing to happen. It's where it's most intense, and words are usually covering it. So we all get angry when we have to give up our melodrama of how we think things ought to be, that reality isn't the way we would like it to be. We get pissed off. But quieting and concentrating your mind gently and persistently will bring it to one point. And that one point will dominate everything else and get you clear. Now, my own teacher, B.K.S. Iyengar, often says that teachers are happiest when their students surpass them, both in practice and teaching. And I wish that for all the people who study with me as well. All spiritualities meet at a certain point where divisions disappear and the oneness between spirit and the human being is established as a fact. And conscious awareness of yourself as an embodiment of living spirit, I think that's what it's all about. Now, my Zen teachers have always told me, no matter how much you think you know, you haven't learned everything you can know. No matter how much you think you've given, you haven't given everything you could give. No matter how much you think you've loved, there's no limit to how much you can still love. And with everything we learn about this beauty, it's so mysterious. And they've taught me to learn how to hold contrary ideas without going nuts. As Alan Watts says, a paradox is a truth standing on its head trying to get your attention. So one attention that I understand is that our life since 9/11 there's been a certain kind of stress that keeps everybody in a state of physiological, psychological emergency preparedness. It's like we're on yellow alert all the time. So the suggestion is, in order not to perish sooner than you should or sooner than you have to, give up what's unnecessary. What's unnecessary? What's no longer working in your life? That's what keeps stressing you out. Another thing that keeps stressing one out is, have you found your pack where you belong? Like the ugly duckling. So many of us think that we were born in the wrong family. And if you don't get this together, you'll end up doing what you despise, some soul-deadening work. But if you find your pack, your vibe is your tribe, it takes some of the bumpy ruts of life out and smooths the path a little bit. And then ultimately, remember, your thoughts materialize as experience. It's all together in your own hands. Once you understand how to do this, use the power of your own affirmation. No power can keep you down. No power can keep you involved in limitation or difficulty. It's all in the way you think and your thoughts about experiences that happen to you, so that you act or react. So, leave you with the end of the day here. May you all allow the well-being that's natural to you to flow. So pay attention to what makes you feel the best and attune yourself to those thoughts, because that's where your truth is.